For those of you excited about the premiere of Dunkirk, a critically acclaimed film set during World War II, we bring you a real-life hero who also happened to be one of the silver screen's most magnetic and refined stars. Leslie Howard was born Leslie Howard Steiner on April 3, 1893, to a British mother and a Hungarian Jewish father. Mr. Howard served in the British Army during World War I, but resigned prior to the Battle of the Somme in 1916 due to shell shock, now commonly called post-traumatic stress disorder. Soon after leaving the Army, Leslie Howard began acting on the London stage, although he would find greater success on Broadway a few years later. In the early 1920s, Mr. Howard ventured into filmmaking, forming a company that was financially backed in part by the Time Machine author H.G. Wells. Although the company was short-lived, Mr. Howard would soon become one of the leading actors of his time. His looks and impeccable manners garnered him many acting roles with other Hollywood luminaries. In 1936, Mr. Howard insisted Humphrey Bogart co-star with him and Bette Davis in The Petrified Forest. The two would become lifelong friends, with Bogart and his wife Lauren Bacall naming their daughter Leslie Howard Bogart. Mr. Howard would become most famous for playing Ashley Wilkes in his final American film, Gone with the Wind. As Ashley, he captured the attention of Scarlett O'Hara and of the many women who flocked to see the 1939 blockbuster. A notorious ladies' man, Mr. Howard shacked up with his lover, Violette Cunnington, while filming. After filming, Mr. Howard returned to England to help with the war effort, writing and starring in propaganda films.
I'd like to know how you spent this afternoon.
What's the matter with you? You seem upset. I spent the afternoon in the library of the embassy.
Mr. Howard's dedication to helping his country during the war was so strong that he forsook his share of the Gone with the Wind box office receipts to go home. Adjusted for inflation, Gone with the Wind is the highest-grossing film of all time. Although Mr. Howard traveled home with his wife and daughter, the affair with Miss Cunnington did not end, as she traveled to England soon afterward. On June 4, 1943, Leslie Howard's plane was shot down en route to Lisbon, Portugal from Bristol, England. There are many theories surrounding his death, since it was well known that the flight he was on was a civilian flight. Some theories say that Howard's plane was shot down due to his manager's resemblance to Winston Churchill, and Churchill being on a flight taking a similar path on the same day. Another theory is that the Germans intentionally shot down Howard's flight to demoralize Britain, and many believe Howard was working for British intelligence, since Portugal was a neutral meeting place for spies on both sides of the war. Regardless of the reasons for the downing of Leslie Howard's plane, it is incontrovertible that his death was a huge loss to Hollywood and to his country.
It's the story of R.J. Mitchell, the man who designed the Spitfire. And in it we try to show you something of what the Spitfire did during the Battle of Britain.
Mr. Howard's heroic efforts, his debonair charm, and his acting catalog will always hold a place in history and in the hearts of many around the world. For those of you wondering whatever happened to his lover Violette, she died of pneumonia only 6 months before his death. After his death, it was revealed that Mr. Howard left her his Beverly Hills home in his will. We hope you enjoyed learning about Mr. Howard's life. Please don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for tuning in.